Hey, what's up? This is Derrick Johnson. You're watching Third and Longhorn. Like and subscribe. Hook 'em.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another special interview edition of Third and Longhorn. Today we have a very special guest, Liona Lefau. Liona, welcome, man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Man, we always start these with the question of how did you get to Texas? And I think you have an incredible one because out of everybody on the team, I have the actual number. You were from 3,742 miles away from Austin, Texas. So how did you get here, man?
Great question.
It's actually a crazy story. So before I moved to campus, I only been to Texas twice. Like that's the whole state of Texas.
Wow.
So I came for a camp, and then I came for my official visit.
Nice.
And it just all started off with just one of the old recruiters. His name was Jake Longy. He was also a Polynesian guy. Introduced me to Coach Cho, and then I came over for a camp. I guess I did pretty well. It was me and Ant was there, and Coach DJ was there too.
Yep.
So we was over there, and we was just having fun basically. And then Coach Cho just started recruiting me from there. Came back for an official visit. I fell in love with the place and it's Austin. And I could see myself here as just a big opportunity that I didn't want to pass on. So I just ended up committing here. And then next time I was visiting here, I was living here. So that's basically how it went down.
Yeah, well, Ben, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
man,
ahead.
I got to jump right in. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I'm getting a little old, but I did see you. Was it a mini camp or something like that?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah. So I was there, and I was watching a few guys, and Hill is who he is, right? He's electric. He can run, jump. He's just the guy, right? Everybody knows that. But Coach Cho actually asked me when he was walking around, like, other than Ant, obviously, we all know about Ant, who's number one recruiter at that time at linebacker. Which one of these guys? I don't know if it was 10, 15 of you guys.
There was a handful, but it wasn't a lot. Because
So I'm there, and Liona is the one that I'm like, he has better footwork than everybody, and anybody. He does. I mean, he really does have better like linebacker footwork. And I said, that guy right there, like, and Coach was like, yeah, like almost like a confirmation, like, okay, I am seeing the right thing. So I guess I'm part of having them here because they really
Full circle moment.
but man, Liona is a student of the game, and a question I want to ask you, just being around the linebackers, he's the kind of guy that knows like the old school linebackers, people before his time. Okay. Like he's a bookworm when it comes to that.
I love football.
Yeah. So where does that come from, man? Because you being from Hawaii, I wouldn't have thought that.
I mean, I just grew up around the sport. Like, so we'd always go to the park and we would always look up, but at the time, it wasn't NFL players, it was high school players. Oh. So we didn't look up to any NFL players. We would look up to high school players and say we would want to be so-and-so. And then when I got older, I'm like, oh, wow, I can start looking up to NFL players and the college players, and then started looking up DJ. And then in NFL, my favorite player was always like Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, the smart guys at the NFL who's just there all the time, making all the plays. So that's just where it all came from. Just loving football, basically.
Man.
Well, let me ask you this. I know when I was coming out of high school, it was the mainland versus the islands game. And I literally signed up just so I could get a free trip to Hawaii. And it didn't disappoint. Like, the game was secondary. But going out there, I saw y'all can ball out there, and football is relatively big out there, which was surprising to me at age 17, 18. So let me ask you, who, in your opinion, is the greatest Polynesian player to play the game of football? It can be college, it can be NFL.
I would say I don't know. I guess the easy answer is like Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like Junior Seau a lot.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, we play the same position. he was balling at college too. They both went to USC, so it's kind of hard to root for them now that we're at Texas. But I always liked Junior Seau and Troy Polamalu. But growing up in Laie, in Hawaii, the big name that everyone knew was Manti.
I was going to say, because he was in my class and he packed out the stadium. Like people came to see him. Yeah. So I was hoping you would bring him up, and I played with him for a couple seasons too.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he's good people.
Yeah, so Manti was I grew up right down the road from him. Not at the same time, but like we live like 5 minutes apart. So like everyone in our little community is pretty close. So that was always the one person that everyone looked up to, just because of the examples he was setting, and then he was balling out at the collegiate level when we were all growing up. So that's kind of who we all looked up to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just finished your freshman year, played the whole season. Did you miss any games?
I did not.
You did not miss any games. That's awesome. And just a small role right now. Seeing Jalen Ford leave, what did Jalen Ford do for you when it comes to being in that linebacker room, being that older player, that decorated player? You're being a freshman, you and Ant Hill coming into and DG and Samaje. Sorry, you guys, four of y'all, four freshmen, linebackers in there. Who did you look up to? I kind of know that, but who did you look up to, and how did that go to get you through your freshman season?
So, if I'm being honest, it was a lot Jay Ford, of course, because, he's what is that word? He's like, he proved himself. He's kind of the more established player. Yeah. So like, it was easy to look up to Jay Ford because like, I'm going to do what he's doing because I want to get the results that he's getting each and every day. But at the same time, I kind of went in with the mentality that I'm the young guy in the room, and anyone, like basically all of the older upperclassmen, Jay Ford, Benda, Jay, I know you know T Love too. Yeah. So even the walk-ons, I just looked up to all of them because I knew I could learn something from everyone.
See, that's a great answer, because that's how you are. I mean, even when I was up there, he's always asking questions all the time. It was a couple of times where I'm like, I didn't see the play. I'm like, all right, I gotta start watching you a little bit, because he was really intentional about saying, hey, I want to get better. And when you talk about being a linebacker, just footwork wise, he's a guy that I'm like, hey, everybody, look at Leonga. Like, this is how you do it. It really is true. And he's a student of the game. And I think his feet are flat as heck. Meaning I'm being funny by it when I say that, but his feet are super flat and he feels the ground. Like, that's a good attribute for a really good linebacker. And that's why your feet are good when it comes to being in the box. That's what I think. Yeah.
Awesome. So
he don't wear shoes either all the time. That's why.
Maybe that's the reason.
I was gonna say, be careful out here in Austin. We don't have that much sand.
I wear shoes a lot more out here.
It gets a little hot in the summer.
But when I'm home, I stay away from shoes. I don't know what it is, but there's not a lot of people who wear shoes. I get it.
Yeah. I've seen the beaches out there. No, let me ask you this. With you just finishing your freshman season, in your opinion, what was the biggest learning curve for you from jumping from high school senior to college freshman?
That's good.
Biggest learning curve? Sure, I would say basically just like, you can't really take any days off. I mean, you have off days, but off days aren't the same type of off days it was in high school. So, meaning you have to use those off days to get your body right, get your mind right, to go into another work day. It's not off days like when I'm back home. My off days back home are going to the beach, chilling, hanging with my friends. Off days over here are more so like stretching, getting in the tubs, getting your body right. And just like, it's just everything's football over here, and it's just all business, which is kind of the reason I like being a lot of people ask me, like, how's it being this far away from home? I kind of like it being this far away from home. Like, I mean, at first it was difficult, of course, because me being homesick. I mean, I'm an island boy. I grew up on the island my whole life. Everything to me is just the island. So being this far away, it was tough at first, but I kind of like, after last year, going throughout the winter and then the spring, and I went home. And I came back. That's kind of when I figured out, like, I actually really like this because I could separate my home and like when I get to relax. And it's a far flight, but like my business where everything is just business, everything's football. I could lock in, and that was one of the main things. It's just not really like relaxing as much as I used to back home.
Well, did you? I wanted to ask, did you? Because I know I was at the co-op once, and I ran into your mom, and she introduced herself, and she was out shopping and whatever. But was your family able to come in, or did they kind of come help you get settled here, or how did that work?
Yeah, so at first it was just me, but they would always come over because my dad he worked Hawaiian Airlines, so it was easy for them to just hop on a flight and come over.
That's
and whatever,
nice.
so they would help me. Yeah,
That's a good hookup, right there.
yeah. So they would help me all the time. And then they ended up, since I'm the youngest, and it was just them in Hawaii, they were just like, oh, maybe we'll just make a move to Austin for a little. So they're over here living here for now. I don't know how long they're going to live here for, but they're here now. So
That's got to be nice to kind of have that home base.
Yeah, it's nice. I still get to lock in when I'm like throughout the week, and then I can spend my weekends with them. And yeah, it's cool.
That's great.
So I was going to ask you to expound on that being far away from home and with your mom and dad here. That actually answered my question. But when I was here a while ago, Waco was my deal. It's just an hour and a half away, quick getaway. But eventually, as I was getting homesick or whatever, I would go back home. But eventually, I would stay here more and more and more. And mom would call back like, "Hey, what's up? Where you at?" or whatever. And then I'll come back home. For you, what do you do when you're homesick? Because that's a real thing. Like we all get homesick, regardless of where we're from or how much we want to go off from home. Yeah. What do you do to pass that time or to comfort yourself where you're like, all right, I'm good?
Well, I guess homesick isn't really a problem anymore since my family's here. Because, I mean, the saying that, like, wherever your family is really like your home.
Yeah.
But, like, before, when I first moved here, the whole winter, all the way through the spring, the homesickness was kind of bad. And what I would really do is I guess I would just get on a phone call or whatever, but I like to listen to a lot of reggae and island music.
Okay. Yeah.
So it really just gets me going and just makes me feel like I'm at home, even though I'm like, was it like 3,000 miles?
3,742 miles.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of reggae. So if you ever hear reggae in the facilities, it's probably me.
Okay. You got any favorite artists? Sorry, Nick.
No, go for it.
I need him to put me on.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. There's island reggae, and then there's like to Bob Marley and Lucky Dubé, and I love Lucky Dubé and Bob Marley them. So, and then island reggae, I like Fiji a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you gotta make a playlist after that.
Yeah, seriously, I want to hear it. I mean, like you said in an interview that you wanted to show people that football on the islands is as good as it is on the mainland. I think that for a lot of us Texas fans, I don't think we know that much about football in Hawaii, et cetera. Like I grew up watching the Pac-12 because my parents went to Washington State, and so I remember seeing like Washington and USC and Washington State all had a lot of kids from Hawaii, but I never really knew too much about the culture there. And I think it's fascinating to me because football seems to be a huge deal there. Yeah. So talk a little bit about how important football is in Hawaii.
Man, so football in Hawaii, it's really growing. So like we're starting to produce a lot more out of, all the schools instead of just like 3 or 4 schools. At first, it was like 4 main schools. They would produce like Manti, Mariota, Tonga Vailoa. So they're producing, and now it's like all the schools because, football is huge in Hawaii. Like we love it there. It's a big part of like the culture now because Friday nights out they talk about high school football in Texas, But like football in Hawaii, it's getting pretty big too over there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, nothing compares to high school football in Texas. I'm not gonna say.
I was going to say,
Have
man,
you gotten to go
that's,
to any high school football games?
Yeah. I went to the Westlake game, and the game was huge.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But like,
sold out.
yeah, we got some fans over there too, and so it's pretty cool. I've been trying to tell my coach to come play a team over here, so that they could just see how much like we love football as much as, you know, the Texas people love football, because I know Texas people love football a lot.
Yeah, for sure. It's a religion.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. So when you talk about football's big over and it's growing in Hawaii, I've been to the Pro Bowl 4 times, and I'm always going over there. I tell you what, everybody, I mean, super fans. I mean, I'm really like. Have you ever been to the Pro Bowl at one of the events?
So when I was younger, my high school was Ko'uku High School. I don't know if you guys had practice over there, but
maybe.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, so you guys have practice over there because you guys stay at the Turtle Bay, I think.
Yes.
So that's right next to my high school, and then you guys would practice over there, and you guys would hold a little. I think it's called like 60 minutes or play 60.
Play 60.
You guys would hold a play 60. So my elementary would go to the high school. So I got to meet I'm sure they don't remember any of us, but I got to meet Adrian Peterson, Richard Sherman.
Oh, that's cool.
Ziggy Ansah. So that was like
bringing up some names.
Yeah. Because my uncle, he coached Ziggy Ansah at BYU, so that's how I remember him.
That's
I was like asking him about him. So, but like so. Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
No. That was it. Because I've just noticed that was when you said football is big in Hawaii. That is true. When I was over there for the Pro Bowl, I mean, super fans everywhere. Yeah. I mean, they pack it out, and I just didn't know that they watched it like that. It was awesome. Everybody knew everybody. When we got off the plane, I mean, they putting a little what's it called?
Yeah, the
lays on us, and it was cool. It was. I look forward to it every year.
Yeah.
Man.
See, I brought I brought lays for all the seniors for the senior day for their little Beaver walk thing. Mm-hmm. But the thing I didn't know is that Tausili brought this lays too. So we both had the idea of bringing lays for all the seniors, which was pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's like a little tradition that we could start at least while we're here to just bring lays for the seniors if they can when they do the senior walk.
Traditionally, what does that lay mean? Like, what does that represent?
Shoot, I mean, to me, it represents, because we give it to like graduations.
Okay.
Any big like.
Is it like a medal? Like almost
like a medal, but at the same time, it's just like showing people love.
Okay.
Like how people give each other flowers. We kind of give people. Oh, it's flower lays.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my next question for you is, if I'm not mistaken, Sark spoke about you going back home and hosting a football camp out there, right? And he said the turnout was amazing. I love hearing stuff like that because I'm originally from Pflugerville, which is about 20, 25 minutes north. So just being a local guy, I always felt like it was my responsibility to always go home and kind of show love, support, do what I need to do back in my community. I say that to say, how important is it to you to always go home and make sure that, home for you is not forgotten and always pouring back into your community?
Man, it means a lot to me. I mean, home means everything to me. Shoot, that little village in Hawaii, it's Laie. Laie, Hawaii is where I'm from. Super proud to be from Laie. I mean, it means everything to me. The one thing that like I always take from where from Laie that I've learned at a young age was to serve.
Okay, that's great.
So I've always been taught to serve my elders, serve others, and just treat other people with respect. So when I was my first camp that I had with was before I came here, and my parents were asking me what I wanted to do before I came to college, and the only thing I could think of was just serving people. Mm-hmm. So they asked me if I wanted to have a camp. So that's kind of where it started.
And this was while you were committed and right before you got to campus? Okay.
Yeah, so it was the December, and then I enrolled in January.
Okay.
So I wanted to have it before I come up to here. So I was still a high school student. It was a great turnout. We only had our like, the island is small, so I kind of know all the top players at each school. So I had my boys who were committed to like Arizona, University of Hawaii, University of Oregon, Utah, all from other schools. They all came out and they helped me.
Okay, that's dope.
And it was just my parents, they reached out to parents and my cousins because it's a really small, like tight community. They reached out to all these organizations or whatever, and they just asked if they wanted to help out and sponsor. And it was a really great turnout. We had more than enough sponsors.
Pictures are crazy of all the kids out there.
Because we just basically told them like, we're doing this camp for the kids. We wanted to serve the youth. But everything is free. So we don't want anyone to worry about anything. Like,
that's awesome.
Because when I was growing up, I know there was some camps that I wanted to go to, but I have 4 brothers. So, and my mom's like, oh, we can't send you guys to this camp because we have to pay for it times 4. So it's a little too much. So we didn't want any families to deal with that. We just wanted them to bring out their kids and let their kids run around and, just have a smile on their face, just serve everyone basically.
Man,
well, go ahead.
No, good, man. I got to stay on that serving real quick, man. That's that kind of tells the Texas fans or whoever about Liona, right? Right. That's big for me. That tells what kind of home you grew up in, what you're all about. And always keep that, man, regardless of how big you're going to get here, because I know it's coming. I think your greatest gifts are revealed through serving. I really do. So keep that up, man.
Yes, sir.
That's really big, man. I didn't really have nothing to say. I just want
to
tell them that.
I was gonna take it back to football. So that's like I didn't want to interrupt that, but so looking forward to next year, man. I think there's a lot of the buzz I hear, and I was watching on Texas football, and they were talking about who they thought next year was going to be the person that steps up and makes the biggest impact. And I know for a fact that CJ Vogel said Liona Lefau. So talk a little bit about going into next year. Is anything going to change for you as far as your preparation, or is it, what are you looking forward to next year / this offseason?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, my preparation, of course, got to step up. It's got to change because I mean, of course, you don't want the same result as the year before. So you always got to step it up and step up your game basically and learn from your mistakes from before. So like I'm trying to like do a lot better in my preparation, changing my diet, because I guess diet's a huge thing. I didn't realize that until I got here. In high school, you kind of get away with just eating whatever you want.
McDonald's is a pregame meal.
Yeah.
McDonald's is Sprite, baby. Let's go.
So in high school, you could get away with whatever, but I'm trying to like do whatever I can, use all the resources, because we have basically everything you need in our facilities, from like the weight room to the field is open 24/7. I mean, all the resources, like Coach DJ, and now we got Coach Gay play for the Steelers. So like I'm excited to learn from Coach Gay as well, because they bring a lot of experience to the table. And it's just a lot more resources that, I can use if I have questions on certain schemes and, why they're doing this. So, yeah, that's one of the main things that I want to focus on this year.
Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, you're talking about preparation, dieting. This is all routine stuff, which is very, very important, especially for somebody as young as you. But as we transition to specifically on the field, is there any specific like pieces or facets of your game that you're working on specifically?
Yeah, I like. Sorry, you're talking about like
just like coverage, specific footwork.
Oh yeah, for
rushing
sure.
the pass, or like what specifically are you working on the field to take that next step?
Yes, sir, for sure. So like, I want to say one of my like strengths is more in the pass game, like covering. So I'm trying to work on my run stop a lot better. Okay. Like just understanding run blocking schemes and how like certain defensive fronts puts us in a disadvantage or an advantage to what they're going to run, and just kind of seeing how the O-line moves and the D-line and where the running backs want to hit. So like a lot of the run game and just understanding the run game a lot more, so I can play faster and just play my game more.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You said it. Just watching your first year through practice or in the games, it's all about just trying to speed them up. And this is regular for high school players going into college, trying to speed them up because the offense is giving them a lot. Like the offense is very complex now. It's harder to play defense, a defensive linebacker now than it was back in the day. And you just got to be smarter. And you just Leonga's very hard on himself. So sometimes that can work against him at times because he knows he can do it. Like he's capable to do anything he wants to do. And being able to play faster is going to be his cue. But in order to play faster, you got to anticipate certain things so he can pull the trigger when he needs to. And he's got to, how much you weigh?
At 220, 225.
Yeah, 225. Yeah, you could just stay right there for the rest of the next 2 or 3 years and he'll be good.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a cool dynamic. It's cool being able to ask you what you're working on and then hear it directly from somebody that's been watching you all season.
I ask Coach DJ anytime I got any questions. I always ask Coach DJ because I know he knows the answers. So
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I think you were one of the few true freshmen that saw the field quite a bit. I know you had an important piece on special teams and things like that. How was that for you stepping on the field that quickly? Was that what you expected, or did you expect more, or were you happy with how?
If I'm being honest, I don't know why, but I didn't really have like any expectations for going into this year. I was kind of just like, I'm just gonna do whatever I can each and every day, and whatever happens, happens, which is probably not the best mentality to go into a season. But I was just thinking, like, I'm a younger guy. I got time, which I probably shouldn't have thinking I got time. But.
No, that's what you're saying. I thought that. I had different opportunities than you, but I thought that's okay. That's a normal mindset. Like, hey, you're not saying that you're not going to work hard or you're not going to do it. Yeah. You're just saying I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to go out here and swing and hopefully land something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I was just going into this year. I was just like, like same as always, if I'm ever on a team, I'm going to do whatever I can for the team. Like no matter what my role is, big or small, to help the team succeed. And I seen the team succeeding. So I was kind of happy of, what we were doing as a team. But of course, everyone wants to, play a lot more and be the guy. And so that would be great. But at the same time, I love doing whatever I can for the team and just seeing our team, succeed. Compared to these last couple of years, to make it top 3 in the nation it's huge.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So when you see that, and you can't really complain about your role. Obviously the coaches are doing a great job if you're number 3 in the nation. So I was just happy to contribute a little to the success that we had.
No, that's awesome, man. Well, we've taken up a bunch of your time, man. We appreciate you coming here. Do you? I know you did. Before we get out of here, do you want to plug your camp for this summer?
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, of course.
Tell everybody.
Yeah, so the camp this year, it's gonna be in my second annual camp. Hopefully the same amount of kids, or maybe even more. The first one we had about like 300. It's gonna be in May. So May 18th, we're going to have our camp. And same like last year, everything is free for the kids. So we're anticipating 500 kids. So
wow, that's a big number for the kids.
You might need some help.
Because So our plan is to because I have a lot of help back home already. So they're already reaching out to
me. We can't go. We're going to show up.
I was getting there. So we got a lot of help back home. Like I'm talking about like reaching out to people and whatnot. So we're already reaching out to people if they want to donate. Yeah. So if anyone wants to donate, that'll be huge. But at the same time, our plan is to hopefully take some of the players with me.
Oh, nice.
Because
they like that.
They love that.
Take some of the players with me and let them kind of like I have a good experience, like maybe like 3 or 4 days before the camp. A good experience of just Hawaii. I'm sure they'll love it, and I'm sure a lot of my teammates would want to go. So I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's seeing who can go and whatnot.
Yeah, there's gonna be a fight for those spots.
Yeah.
Sure. But man, thank you so much for coming out.
Yes,
we're
sir.
excited to watch you this year.
Thank you.
So
Yes, sir.
appreciate it. Hook 'em.
Thank you guys.